Oh, sorry, everyone. Terribly sorry about that. All right. Let's get started. Welcome, welcome. I hope everyone's going well. We are joined here today with Socks. Here she is. She's like, oh, hey, hey. Sadly, the web camera is squeezed in between two monitors. I can't move it very... Oh, wait, it's got a little bit of a wiggle. But, yeah. Anyway, Socks is intently sitting by the screen, once again, blocking some of the view. But, oh, well, oop, careful. Hopefully you didn't mute anything. I'm pretty sure you didn't. So, yeah, let's jump straight into it. Tonight we're looking at wrapping up the blog, seeing what we want to do next. I almost said next year, next month. So, just going into here, we are just going to create a single blog. Not that way, we're just going to do it that way. There we go. We're also going to jump out the front end. And I'm going to have a look at this. So this is completed. I should fix that up also. Give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to do it from the code. Easy done. All right, so what I want to do is I want to cover off what we want to do, what we want to achieve in the month of July. So straight off the bat, I am just going to be like this. I'm going to go up here, and I'm just going to write July instead. Easy trick there. I've got to upload more of the. Or did I? Oh, I did. All right, I'm going to pick this one, the welcome one. We are going to go do... I don't think we did... Yeah, it's just a... We need to actually change that to July. That would be a mistake otherwise. SEO description. We have finally passed halfway in the year. And are currently wrapping up the 0.31 development branch. All right, cool. Oops, no, I didn't want the hero images. All right, cool. This would be a development blog summary. That's just going to be the same as this. All right. And let's add new content. Oh, and we've just hit our first ad break of the evening. Give me a couple of seconds. Let's scroll all the way over here. Ad time. All right, for those on YouTube, we run ads every half an hour. Just up pre-rolled ads. You guys don't need to worry about it. You don't get ads. We do tend to do this so no one misses out on any content. You see me fiddling around stuff here, solving a Rubik's Cube, and you'll also see Socks, who likes to pop up sometimes. She's like, hello. You'll see her tail more likely. So, yeah, hopefully everyone's going well. We've got about 50 seconds left of the ads. They go for about 90 seconds. So, yeah. Hopefully everyone's well. And, yeah, whoops, dropping the cube. So, yeah. Okay. Sorry, I'll just bring this up here. Okay. Whoa. we did that one. All right. There we go. And about 6 seconds left for the ads. All right. Hopefully everyone's going well. And welcome back, everyone. So, going on with this, I should do this so you guys can actually see what's going on. And the Bob, I know, how are you going? Hopefully you're going well. I'm going to use... Actually, let's have a look at what we kind of want to do. So, that's for that. We want the final countdown. We want to have a look in here what we want to do. Yeah, we want to implement this. We've implemented most of the feedback for the API. And Pawan Yadev. Yo, welcome. I do hope you are enjoying my content, and I do apologize if I pronounce your name wrong. I am terrible with new names. You're okay, the Bob, I know. About to head out and buy dinner. Alright, yeah. I actually won't be here Wednesday. I'll be having a Twitter post why. So, yeah. Anyway, have fun, enjoy dinner. We also need to do a bunch of testing. And we need to start the documentation and stuff like that. But I need to sort of state what we want to achieve this particular month. So, going over here, let's open up the rich text block. And I kind of want to... We're just listing out what I kind of want to do. Implement feedback. So we've done most of that. I'm happy with that so far. I didn't even know you're coding, but you two keep recommending these coding stories. I don't know why, though. But you must have watched one, and YouTube's like, you know what? This guy likes to code. Yeah, it happens. So welcome anyway. How have you been? Full site testing is what we want to do. Full site testing. And documentation. Deploying the API documentation. Now, this month is going to be rather short because it's going to be a short month for me. I'm taking some time off. So, yeah. Okay, this will be split out into both the API and GDPR wizard. So I am going to go API admin functionality and then GDPR wizard improvements and functionality. Like so. Full site testing. All right, cool. So we are just going to be like page header for this one. This is going to be a very short article. Once again, we're dealing with the shorter, less items this month. That does mean that I'm going to have to push back our September sort of goal for the start of 032, but that's perfectly fine. I'd rather get this out the door. Sorry, I'd rather get this this done properly. All right, so API admin functionality. All right, cool. Currently, why, how, and what. Users will need the ability to create and destroy API keys. This will be done as an administration task within NearBeach. All right, cool. Currently, we have to solve the issue of one API key per user. We want to extend the amount of API keys per user. Actually, no. Let's do that. Currently, we have to solve the issue of one API key per user. Best practice would state that. Just wait. Best practice would state that one user could have multiple different API keys for different services in case there is a security breach in one. There's a security breach. That way, recycling the API key is easy. Quick and easy. Actually, recycling the API key only affects that one service. All right, cool. We don't need to worry about the what here. Actually, I'll probably do the what anyway. So, users will need the ability to create and destroy API keys. This is done as an administration task within NearBeach. Currently, we need to solve the issue of the API key. The best practice would state that the... Alright, cool. Once this has been solved, we'll start implementing a UE to help users manage their API keys. Documentation around this process will follow soon. Okay, so I'm happy with that. With this one, the GDPR wizard, we'll just leave it like that. The GDPR wizard currently needs the following unit tests. So at the moment we don't have a GDPR wizard. It's soft released, so it's currently there, but sorry, this is really loud. Where was I? So it is actually currently there. You can actually use it. There shouldn't be a problem with you using it. What we've done is we've not included it in the menu just as yet. So we kind of need to include it in the menu, then users can get access to it easily. But we've kept it sort of this hidden sort of feature at the moment because we need more unit tests. We need to actually expand the fixtures around that so we can actually fully test the unit tests. So to make sure that we're not deleting any data we don't want or anything like that. So yeah. Okay, cool. So creating fixtures specifically aimed at unit testing the GDPR wizard. Unit tests to mainly unit tests. Unit tests for the GDPR wizard, making sure we don't delete unnecessary items. I keep spelling things wrong. Connection to the GDPR wizard in the navbar menu. Easy done. So we're going to expand on this here. Cool. So what we need to do, as we have been working on unit testing for NearBeach, we have noticed that we require more. more fixture data for the GDPR wizard. You're right. You did watch some game testing content as I was looking to join game dev in industry. Maybe that could be the reason. Fair enough. So yeah, would explain it. Game dev is actually really interesting sort of stuff. Completely and utterly different to what I'm doing. So I'm building a web application called NearBeach. It's a project management system. It's all open source, so you can download and use it. And if you ever make your own game, you can use it to help manage your building of your own game. So yeah. Currently, what I'm doing is I'm writing our goals for the next month. I tend to do this at the end of every single month or the start of every single month. So yeah, I'm just currently writing that. We've also got a, I'm just going to hit update. I'm going to hit save so I don't lose my login. Where was I? We've also got a, okay, start changes. There's a bug there. We've also got a sort of process where we're wrapping up the 031 branch. So I'm trying to implement as much of this into that as possible, just to state what I'm currently doing. And you know, sorry, I'm a bit tired again tonight. As we've been working on the unit test for NearBeach, we've noticed that we require more fixture data for the GDPR wizards. This is to make sure the larger data set will help us with the test. Actually, no, it's the data. This data will ensure the robustness of the new wizard. Alright, cool. I don't need to really write more around that. Yeah, so full site testing. As we are winding down for the 0.31 branch, we will require more. We will require a full site test. So, yeah, these full site tests, we will just go through, test everything, make sure that there's no bugs, no matter how minor it is, and then, yeah, we'll fix all of those bugs, or determine whether or not they should be pushed back to the 0.32 branch. So, yeah. So you're a web designer, I know a bit about code, seems so difficult to me. It will become easier, trust me. A lot of it's just repetition, a lot of it is literal problem solving, and you'll find out that as you solve sort of problems, you'll build like a little brick type of thing for these problem solvings, and the next thing you know, you've literally built a house. I don't know where that analogy came from. I'm just making it up as I go along. So hopefully that makes sense. Yeah. All right. As we're winding down for the 031, we require a full site test. Actually, I am going to do this with the why, how, and what. So why we would love to leave NearBeach in an extremely stable state whilst we go ahead with the 0.32 development. How? As we are winding down for the 0.31 branch, we will complete multiple full site tests and try and fix everything that we can. Full site tests and tests. From these tests, we are hoping to fix any and all issues. Alright, easy done. And we don't need the what for that one. We would love to leave NearBeach in an extremely stale state while we go ahead with the 0.32 development. As we're winding down for the 0.31, we will complete multiple full-site tests with this. Issues. Development of the API documentation. All right, this one's going to be easy. How, what, and why. Documentation is an extremely important cornerstone for any open source application. All right. That should be why, how, and what. Got that around the wrong way. So documentation is an extremely important cornerstone for any open source application. It brings in new users and helps them clear any hurdles they have with your software. We are currently using Swagger to automatically generate the API documentation from the code base. Essentially all we have left now is getting the GitHub application to push that code, or just specifically the HTML sort of code and the JavaScript code and any static files onto our static web app. So yeah, if I want to learn code from scratch, where should I start from, and which coding language should I learn first? All right, cool. So we recommend Free Code Camp. However, that being said, we're quite biased here at the moment. This is a lot of web development and stuff like that. However, you did say something about gaming in there. So this will teach you sort of responsive web design, JavaScript, data structures, front end, and so forth like that. However, this is going to be completely and utterly different if you're actually learning how to do game dev and stuff like that. As for the language, I've always recommended go onto a job searching platform, type in, let's say, game developer in here. I'm just going to pick Sydney. That's just random. All right. Fun fact: the Matrix was filmed there. You would go into here, you will click, and you'll sort of read the requirements and so forth like that to find out what sort of languages people are using and so forth like that. For game development, I do believe there's a lot of .NET nowadays. So yeah. And that's my recommendation. All right. Oh, and also, don't be afraid if you learn one language and you need to learn another. So, if we have a little graph being like effort, and this is just a bar of the different languages that you learn. The first language is going to take the most effort. The second language ain't going to take as much effort. Nope. All right. Sorry, I am using my non-dominant hand to draw this. So, first language is going to take a lot of effort. Second language, not so much, because there's a lot of transferable knowledge that goes into here. For example, you don't need to relearn if statements and for loops and functions and stuff like that, because you'd be like, all right, cool, I get the concept of those. What's the syntax? And then your next language will be even easier, and then your next language, and then it sort of teeters off like this. And then from here, you're like, all right, cool. These are just syntax changes, and these are just me looking up the weirdness of those particular languages. So every language has a weirdness to it. All right, why? Documentation is an extremely important cornerstone for any open source application. It brings in new users and helps them clear any hurdles they have with your software. We're currently using Swagger to automatically generate the API documentation from the code base. We are hoping this documentation brings more users to using the new API systems. All right, to deploy the documentation, we will be using GitHub Actions to send the static files to our Azure static web app. All right, cool. And I do apologize. I'm terrible with new names. Dakesh P. Do apologize. I'm terrible with new names. So NearBeach is an open source project management system built using Django and VueJS. Yeah. So going with a little spiel. That's not NearBeach. Right, I haven't booted it up yet. All right, localhost. You can gather basic organization and customer details. From there, you can gather user requirements, start a Kanban board, break down those user requirements into requirement items, or either create projects and tasks. And when you're ready to deploy, you've got requests for changes, if you've ever had to do a request for change. So, yeah. Deploy the, we need to set up a GitHub Actions. So GitHub should actually be like this. Actions and stack files. So, all right, cool. And that's all that's left for that particular one. Hopefully it won't take me more than an afternoon. I'm hoping it only takes me an hour, really. So, yeah. Need to get rid of that random Y. We're going to update. We're going to hit save. We're also going to bring in the counter bugs. And we're also going to create a little info. No, that's not what I want. Alert block, that's what I'm thinking of. Alert message. This will just be a simple light, easy sort of thing. Please note, the lead developer will take 2 weeks off in the month of July 25. All right. And that will just belong at the top. So no, let's put that there. Let's save and preview. Okay. Holidays. Yep. All right. Cool. Easy done. We've got all of that. That is wrong. We're going to update that right now. Oops. All right. We've got ads. I wrote hug.docker. All right. This will actually tell us when we released it. Wasn't that 5 days ago? So that was on the 25th. So I'm happy with this. I'm going to save and publish. We're going to go to the bugs. So I need to actually look up a lot of this. That was on the 25th. We are at 0.85. I didn't have a look at the NearBeach.utrack bug issues, so we're just jumping into that really quickly right now. So current issues is 12. Okay, cool. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So technically 6 that we've got to fix for this particular release, but that's fine. Okay, cool. Easy done. We don't have any scheduled bugs or anything like that. Cool. So if we hit actually, let's just close that. We're on here now. We go back to blogs. We can close that. There we go. We can open up this. Cool. So that's it. That's all we're tackling for this particular month. So yeah, once again, 2 weeks I'll have off. I probably just don't want to look at NearBeach in that time. So yep. Cool. So that is that one sorted. Okay, NearBeach is an open source. Yep. Okay, what else did I want to do tonight? I can't do the admin stuff. GDPR. I could fill out the GDPR sort of stuff. That shouldn't be too hard to do. Oh, sorry. Give me a bit of a yawn. Alright, import SQLite 3. Okay. One thing I could potentially do is I could sort of create a lot of data and do that sort of test continuing. Sorry, I'm just trying to think what I want to do tonight. I thought that would take a lot longer writing that article. I guess not. Okay. Oh my god, I hate when that happens. Alright, click on that. Okay, we can't do that because that deals with all the credentials and stuff like that at the moment. Full site test, we can do a full site test. We can start doing a full site test tonight. I think that would be good. We'll also need to test the API. Do a full site test on the API. However, we did do a lot of testing when we were sort of deploying it and so forth like that. So, yeah. Okay. We've also got the API admin functionality. We don't want to touch that at the moment. Though I do want to go... Ooh. Oh, I think I'm using API keys. Let's just double check that. Because I can do some research now to sort of ease up next month. So I'm minimizing that. I'm just opening up that. I'm going to open up the local and the settings, and we're double checking with the installed apps. So we should have Django REST framework, Django, yep, all right, cool. This is saying REST framework API key. We've got the one-time passwords and all that kind of stuff, but that's for the two-factor. All right. All right, cool. Okay, you can also set the authentication schema per view basis. Alright, basic authentication, we're happy with that. Token authentication. Note that token authentication provided by the Django REST framework is fairly simple implementation. Cool. For the implementation, which allows more than one token per user, has some tighter security implementation details, and supports token expiry, please see the Django REST Nox third-party package. So we probably actually need to do this. So authentication module for the Django REST Auth. Nox provides easy to use authentication for the Django REST framework. The aim is to allow for common patterns in applications that are REST based with little extra effort. All right, sweet. And to ensure that the connections remain secure. That's what we want. So the idea here, why we're actually going after this, in case you guys don't want to know, let's say you've got a user set up on NearBeach and they've got an API key that's sent out to many different services. Now, if it was all the same API key, the problem is if someone is able to break into this and be like, oh, cool, there's an API key for this. They then can get into here, they can then get into here, they can then get into here, which is not what we want. So the idea behind this is that you use a different API key. And Moondog, sup, how are you going? Welcome back. So yeah, that's what we're kind of aiming for. And it's good that this particular site is like, all right, use this third-party package. Provides is token-based, similar to the token authentication built into DRF. However, it overcomes some problems presented in the default implementation. DRF tokens are limited to one per user, which is not what we want. This does not facilitate securely signing in from multiple devices. As the token is shared, it also requires all devices to be logged out if a server-side logout is required, i.e. token is deleted, which is also another thing. If you want to remove your token for one particular service for any reason whatsoever, you're going to have to delete the whole entire thing, and it's just easier to delete the one sort of thing. Nox provides one token per call to the login view, allowing each client to have their own token, which is deleted on the server side when the client logs out. All right, cool. Nox also provides an option for logged in clients to remove all tokens from that server, forcing clients to... All right, sweet. DRF tokens are stored unencrypted in the database. This would allow an attacker unrestricted access to account. Yes. All right, cool. We definitely don't want that. We want this as secure as possible. Nox tokens are only stored in a secure hash form, like a password. Even if the database were somehow stolen, an attacker would not be able to log in with these stolen credentials. Nice. DRF tokens track their creation time, but have no inbuilt mechanism for token expiry. Nox tokens can have an expiry configure in the app settings. Default is 10 hours. So that is good. So we can actually give the user the ability to set the expiry. So if they need a service, we can be like, all right, cool, 3 months, something like that. Run tests locally. If you need to debug a test locally and have Docker installed, simply run docker run test script and it will run the test suite in every Python and Django version. All right. You could also simply run regular docs in the root folder as well. All right, cool. Working on documentation, work on the documentation, sorry. Documentation is generated by mkdocs. You can refer to the documentation as how to install it locally. Another option is to use, all right, cool. Sweet, let's have a look at their documentation. Oof, that's tiny. There we go. Nox provides easy to use authentication for the Django. Alright, we've read this. Well, let's just hit the installation. Requirements. Nox depends on Python internal library hashlib to provide the bindings to OpenSSL, or uses an internal implementation of the hashing algorithm for token generation. Installing Nox. Nox should be installed via pip, so yep, that's easy done. Now, another problem that we have had in the past is when I do deploy this, I'll need to deploy this over multiple different libraries. So, for example, I'll need to deploy it in the, I think the NearBeach base would be good. And Manic, how are you? Welcome. Sorry, I just saw your message. I don't know how long you've been there for. So, sorry. How are you going, Manic? Set up Nox. So, add REST framework. Yep, and Nox to your installed apps. Remove the REST framework or token. Ooh, okay. Yep, I think we are using that. So, yeah, we're definitely using that. Make Nox's token. Hang on. Make Nox's token authentication your default authentication class for the Django REST framework. So I'm also assuming the instant I sort of do this, I will need to redo all of the API authentications in my Postman, which is going to be annoying, but hey, it's fine. Manic? Oh, you just missed? Oh, okay, cool. Sorry, I just looked up then, and I forgot how long I had since I last looked up. So yeah, I just assumed it was a while. All right, so the REST framework, default authentication classes, we shoved that back in. All right, sweet. Add the Nox URL patterns to your project. Okay. Yep, that's easy. We can do that in the API URLs. All right. Oh, sorry. Moving on. No, it is important using syntax and not try to import as reference to user. One will cause the app to fail at import time. All right, cool. The items will be accessible. Alright, yep. Cool. We can do that. Alright. If you set the token auth as the only default authentication class on the second step, override Nox login view to accept another authentication. Alright, cool. Apply the migrations for the model and stuff like that. All right. I think I've got to start creating some tickets now. Sorry, give me a couple of seconds. I've got to go onto the secret screen because I am going into NearBeach production. There we go. You guys can see the Kanban board. It's just I've also got other stuff on here which I don't want to show people. So, there's our GitHub stuff, remove idea, those are still in review and QA. They'll be in there for a couple of weeks. Implementability for admins, yeah, we're currently implementing that. So, implement Django REST Nox. All right, cool. This will actually be very high because we want to get this problem solved. Yeah. It must be night there. That's why you're yeah, I do need some sleep. It is actually nighttime. I'm guessing is it 3 p.m. there? Actually, I'm just going to put this as high. And I'm going to include a couple of things in here. So we'll need to include the source. So the source. Installation instructions. Yep, fair enough. Is it warm there at the moment? Because it is cold here. It is 9 degrees Celsius, and for those who are using freedom units, that's 49 Fahrenheit. It's gonna get down to 7 tonight. Oh, I gotta ride my bike in that. Believe it or not, a lot of Indians come here. So yeah, which is nice of you guys. Welcome, welcome. How are you guys going? So yeah. Pronounce main. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Oh no, so you're creating NearBeach with help of NearBeach. Yes, I am. So yeah, I've been doing that for a while now. Yeah, it's coming along well, and I found yeah, I found a couple of issues with it and been able to fix it and stuff like that. You're also from India? Ah, nice. Yeah, welcome. So yeah. I'm also streaming on YouTube. So yeah, I do know I get quite a lot of Indians on YouTube. There you go. Alright, installation instructions. Gonna copy that. I'm gonna paste it into here. Yeah. I mean, it's awesome. I can understand why. If I zoom out here, New Zealand, it is like 9:30 there. They're probably going to bed. Not much English. And then India, a lot of English. So, yeah. $31, wow. Goes up to 45. Whoa, yeah, that 45 is hot. And I'm assuming, is it nearer 100% humidity? Or are you guys lucky and you don't get 100% humidity? Can't be unfair to Twitch, yeah. Twitch used to not allow it. However, I forgot when they started allowing it. At one point they did start allowing it, and I realized that I should be streaming on most platforms. 87% humidity. Alright, that is super high. Still. Whew. I'm in Melbourne. I'm surprised we even register humidity here. So, yeah. Oh, it's saying 83%. Because it's going to be raining and stuff like that. It doesn't honestly feel that humid. Yeah, I don't trust that. Max here is like 35, 36 these days. Oh, still very hot. Still very, very hot. Alright, so we will need to install this library into NearBeach to improve the token generation. I.E. and we're just going to put in bullet points. I could do that. Encrypting tokens, multiple tokens per user. Oops, I'm trying to use Vim bindings there. There we go. So this is going to be definitely high. We're going to add this in. I'm going to move it up towards the top. However, I want to get the Swagger stuff done sooner rather than later, because getting the API out there and getting feedback is more important. 30C, 74 humidity at the moment for me. Wow. That is super hot. We can trade if you want. I can give you some cold. You can give me some heat. I need to put the tag on. So we're going to go the 31 branch here, because we're going to do it in this branch. And yeah, so we got that. All right. Ooh, be careful, socks. So I'm going to be happy with that. I forgot what this is about. Implement a simple JSON field that can store metadata for all objects. The field should be editable from the API. Ah, yes. Alright. I think that's an external request. That's something we can do. Do you have plans to add tags to items like AOD does? It's super convenient. I don't know what AOD is, but if I were to jump into, let's say, my local, which I can show you, let's jump into this project. I can start adding tags into here. So let's say I just add those 2 tags in. This is just test data, so this is fine. Azure DevOps. Okay. I haven't used Azure DevOps. But yeah, I can see tags being extremely convenient, and I do kind of want to extend their functionality. So we've just added this on to just the project information 3. If we go back to the dashboard, it should appear here. I do kind of want to implement it so the tags will start appearing down here. So it's going to be a one of those days thing. Yeah. Be nice having that information in here. And Scotty B, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. You started brushing up on your Python again. Took a bread from Rust for a while. I'm assuming break from Rust. But you know what? Run with it. You took some bread from Rust. Mind if I share a reference image of what I'm talking about? I do have a Discord. So yeah, feel free to post on there. I think we've got either programming or general. Okay, so I'm going to close this. So I think this can be potentially done. We can add in the URLs. It's just the login views. Global usage on all views. All right. We won't... Actually, I think... No, we won't be using tokens on all the views. Default authentication classes. Default authentication classes in here. We've got those 3 for the REST framework. So no, we'll definitely be using session and basic. And yeah, we'll need to get rid of slate typing. Yep. Yep, no, don't worry. I do it all the time. So, yeah. And Prime Coder, welcome. All right, standard desk goes up. So, this is I think I did test it the other day. So, if you don't know, I got a new monitor stand, and I finally got my vertical monitors all set up. I ordered cords in, and I had to test it the other day to make sure I wasn't going to rip a cord out when doing a standing desk. But, hey, we got it working, mostly. Oh, I did something wrong there. There we go. Finally, I stayed for too long. Fair enough. I'm not at my own system at the moment. Can't join Discord right now. We'll join later. Okay, fair enough. Yep. If you got any ideas that you think will be useful for NearBeach, feel free to jump on in. All right, I'll be able to do that. I don't think I could listen to it. Hang on. Paste. Pause. right, add tag. Okay. One day I'll get something like that working. I have a lot of excess cabling for that reason. Tags would be handy. Yeah, well, we've got the tag system in there. But we could definitely sort of improve it. With 0.32, we do want to improve a lot of the UI UX. So yeah, this is good to actually collect this at the moment. So what I could do is, because I know I'm logged in, I can just do that now. All right, cool. I think we've got a tags thing in here. Kanban board, no, task projects. We don't have one directly for tags, but that's perfectly fine. What we could potentially do I have one for UI UX? Docker, no, I don't. All right, not a problem. I can't search on tags just yet. That was in the original NearBeach, but tell you what, we can put that in. So look at redesigning the tags, not tabs. So I am going to make sure I've still got that one copied link. So let me give my brain a little Azure DevOps currently has this ability for the tags. Oops. Look at implementing a UI UX change for the tags so we could do something similar. All right, cool. So I'll put that one in, and I'm going to put have the ability to search by tags. All right, cool. The ability to search by tags. I think that will be a good challenge because we've got all the different objects and stuff like that, but I think it's plausible. Anyway, I'm gonna do might be a long-term plan, but another one is to be able to query the data. Okay, let's have a look. I'll zoom in. Create queries in Azure DevOps. So creating query. Okay. I can see how I can do this with stored procedures. And stuff like that. Alright. I just don't know how to store them in how Django does things. So, implement the data query. Okay, easy done. Users would like the ability to query the data within NearBeach without using any database manage software. Easy done. For example, and we're just going to use this as an example. got your vertical monitor and fired up the 3D printer for the first time in a year. I even got paper WM working on GNOME. Nice. I don't know what it is. I'm just paper. Oh, all right. Any screenshots? Ah, nice. So it's yeah. Well, that's kind of cool. Oh, sorry about the noise. What? I'm trying to stifle that as much as possible. You've used window WMs in the past, and I do use i3 with Ubuntu right now. How's it different from that? Can you share any? Alright, you're asking Nocturnal and Scotty B because I've never used this. I haven't used a Windows Manager before either, but it does look right up my alley. Alright, I'm going to add that card in. So there you go. We've got those cards implemented in there. That is a tag. We'll put that for the next 032. All right. Sweet. The repo has it. Ah, nice. Okay. So there we go. Sorry, I'm just going back to the installation of this. If you set the token, all right, so we're not going to do that. Apply the migrations to the model. We could potentially set this up tonight and play around with it. We're just got a fixture in the database. That's perfectly fine. Yeah. And you know one thing I forgot to do? I forgot to turn on my VM and create an instance of NearBeach, which I can connect to from here and flood it with lots of data. Because one thing I do want to actually do is add in a million rows of data. So a million projects, a million tasks, not that many Kanban boards. So, a lot of requirements with the requirement items and so forth like that. With the ability for us to sort of use it with that state, have it, because it's a ridiculous amount of data, we should find some ridiculous sort of bugs and stuff like that. Be right back. Work call. That's perfectly fine. So yeah, it's more based around side scrolling instead of stacked. Yeah. All right, so let's jump into this. Let's go over into here. Let's cd sites. Oops. We're in NearBeach already. Yep. Source, VM, bin, activate. And what I want to do is I want to go git status, git flows, flow feature, start. And then I want to just type in Django REST framework Nox. Like so. It's very different. Paper WM is very heavy, and I wouldn't be using it. Except I have a problem with a device that Neary doesn't like. I suggest trying Nearin. It's a very cool, fast side scroller with a pressure, much easier to get going. Neary. All right, cool. One day I'll start using a Windows Manager. All right, so. Do we just have ads, or are we just waiting for ads? I'm hoping... Oh no, we've got 2 minutes left of the pre-rolled. Those ads are going to start any... There we go. Anyway, for those on YouTube, we run ads every half an hour on Twitch, so people don't get pre-rolled ads when they join. Don't worry, you don't get any ads. That's fine. We do this so no one misses out on any content. I'm not having an earthquake here. It's just my desk is up high and it shakes a lot. Not an earthquake. Hopefully everyone's doing well tonight. So yeah, it's almost 8 o'clock. We'll see how much we can do tonight. It's going to be a very lazy stream tonight. It's okay if we get distracted and stuff like that. We've achieved what we wanted to for this month, and next month is going to be a shortish month for us. So yeah. All right. So going in here, we're just going to quickly solve this cube, and we're going to do this. We're doing that. Then we're just doing it like this, and we do it like that, and yeah. All right. Okay. And there we go. Done. Oh yeah. We're about 10 seconds left of the ads, and then we'll jump right back into it. We're going to install this Nox. We're going to see how easy / hard it is. If it's something that doesn't require us to do much, we probably might release tonight. Yeah. Anyway, welcome back, everyone. Ooh, Wayland. Nocturnal uses just KDE. Fair enough. I have my Sway on my laptop. I don't use it enough to keep having to look up how much. Yep, fair enough. Alright, Socks, are you meowing to go in the cupboard, or are you meowing to get up onto the desk? Because if you meow right there, Nocturnal might give you treats. Or Pip. Okay, so in here, what we want to do, because I'm holding Socks one-handed, I'm going to be a bit lazy. I'm just going to right-hand click and paste that in. We're going to do that. There we go. Nocturnal's giving you treats. For those on YouTube, on Twitch, we have viewer reward systems. And one of those ones is you can feed Socks some treats. Alright, in your bed. In your bed. You know, you gotta go into bed, sweetie. Alright, there's the secret screen. Yeah, in your bed. Good girl. You know where to go when these happen. Years I've spent trying to teach her that. Years. Okay. There she's going. Alright, good girl. He's a little wombat friend. We actually don't have a name for the wombat. So, yeah. Alright, thank you, Nocturnal. Alright, so going in here, we've just installed it. Sweet. That's pretty easy. So we want the REST framework, and we want Nox instead of the REST framework authentication. So we go into the settings, we scroll all the way up. We want the, get rid of this, and we type in Nox. Easy. Then we want the Nox token one. So we scroll all the way down here, not templates. We want this, so we're just going to paste that into there like that. Now, I don't know. I think these two will work. We're just playing around with this very, very quickly. What we want to do is we want the URL patterns. That's just gonna, once again, we're just gonna copy this. We're gonna go into here. We're gonna open up NearBeach. We're gonna scroll all the way down to the URLs API version 0. That's the router stuff. What we want to do is we just want to paste it into here like so. We just do that. We go at the start, we tap it in like that. Now we need the include. Actually, give me a second. I'm going to check the plain URLs. No, I think having it in here is going to be better. Now, we do have the include. We don't have the nox.urls in here. I'm just going to hit refresh to make sure everything's working. Yes, it is. And I'm going to hit stop. Next thing we want to do, Python 3 manage migrate. Those are going to migrate the authentication. And then we want to go into here. We're just going to hit this. Okay, so now that we're in here, I am getting distracted with the cube. I do apologize. Now that we're in here, we are going to go to... Oh, definitely not on that one. That's production. We're going to go localhost. All right, this is fine. This is all good. We then want to go to admin. All right. I'm just going to log out. We're just going to type in admin. We're just going to jump in. We're just going to go admin up here. It's because we were in dark admin. We've got the auth tokens up here. So we need to add in an auth token. Oh. Okay. Huh. Doesn't create something straight away, but we've got a digest. Once again, I'm probably going to need to read a lot more of the documentation. We're just playing around with this at the moment. We've got the API auth login. Okay. Yeah, that won't work in there. Now that I realize this, I'm just going to stop this for a very, very quick second. We're jumping into the URLs. We're just going to jump all the way up to the top. We are going to go to the 50th line and paste that in. Easy done. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here. When we actually do 0.31, we're going to go through a lot of this and clean it up and color it and, you know, make it more readable. Because at the moment, it ain't readable. So, we are going to jump back into, let's jump into dev mode. We're just going to jump over here. We're just going to hit this method get not allowed. Ooh, all right. Let's remove that. API auth. Okay. So yeah, with the add, we've got the digest token user. And then I'm just going to save. All right. Okay, installation. Sorry, we went to the bottom. We got all of that. Yep, we're happy with that. So views. Nox provides three views for handling token management for you. Login view. View accepts only a post request with an empty body. All right, cool. Okay, so I think I've mucked up how I thought this would work, and that's perfectly fine. We are going to delete this. I think what's going to happen here is we've got a login view, and what happens is the user will use Postman or something like that to log in and get a key, which is annoying because I wanted to do this from the front end perspective. All right, log out view. No. URLs, authentication. Okay, so it looks like I got a bit of reading to do. Not a problem. It was easy to set up. Settings in the Nox are handled in a similar way that to the REST. All settings are in the REST Nox settings. Easy done. Token model, Nox auth token. All right, cool. Tests. All right. Oh, sorry about that. I was just yawning for a bit. Okay, so what I need to learn from here is sweet. We got it set up pretty easily, but how to use it and how to actually convey that to a end user. We want it at a point where it's not going to make things harder for the end user. We want the ability to, for example, jumping on, let's say you're an admin, you want to go to a user. Let's say you've created a specific user for the API calls and stuff like that for a group. Come down here and actually manage the API keys down here in the user profile. So that's what we kind of want. All right. I'm going to say that's okay. We'll stop there for that particular thing. I am initial setup for the Nox, DRF Nox. There we go. All right, cool. Let's jump back into develop. We won't be streaming much longer. Sorry. Yeah, I am running out of steam again. That and I've got work to do tonight. So, yeah. All right. What else did we want to have a look at? I've closed the tabs I want to actually have a look at, haven't I? That should not have taken that long to load. Alright, we won't do that tonight. We won't do any of that tonight. Full site testing. I mean, we could start doing a full site test. We might as well. Okay, cool. Localhost. Actually, I want to open up as a read-only user. Localhost. Read-only with extra. Okay, we're going to jump over here with the users. Actually, no, we're going to look at the permission sets. We're going to have read only plus extra. We're having a look at all of this. This should all be read only and no permissions and stuff like that. So down here, we've got grants ability to upload. So we're just going to go into a project. We can't edit this project whatsoever. We can't even type into here. It's all read-only and stuff like that. So this is all locked down. What we want to do is we've added on extra permissions to allow the user to upload something. So we're just going to upload something very, very quickly. Now, we've got a 500 error because I have forgotten to turn on my Minio. So that's part of my Docker sort of stuff up here. Give me 2 seconds. I am just going to be like and panic at... There we go. Whew. Gonna redo that. Now that looked like it worked. That worked fine. Let's add it in a link. That worked perfectly fine. Let's add in a folder. And that worked perfectly fine. All right. I love that image. It's so silly. All right. So the user's been able to upload stuff onto the task manager. Now, the good news is that this is, and Yash, because this is actually a shared component that uses the same sort of backend for all the objects, this should just work on other objects too. So we're going to have a quick checkout with list organization. We're going to go API 1. We're going to go document upload. We're just going to upload. We'll upload a link. And how are you going, Yash? Hopefully you're going well. Welcome back. Oh, we didn't get any response then. We just got a post and then nothing. There's no response whatsoever. Ah, it's because we had a breakpoint. Alright. That's why. I've just uploaded multiple of the same links. So yeah. It's going good. I'm just testing out NearBeach at the moment. So we're trying to find any sort of issues within NearBeach and hopefully get them fixed. So yeah. We had a look at implementing better token generation for our Django REST framework. We do have something in the pipeline, but it requires me reading a lot of documentation, and that's very boring on stream. It's just me reading out a document and being like, what does that mean? And then me in the corner crying. Not good stream content. So we're testing. Alright, so it looks like the read-only user has the ability to upload stuff now, which is great. They can only upload stuff if you've given them permission to. This is an extra permission. Sweet. All right, I'm going to bump that off to the right. So, with the permission set, we want grant notes on Kanban board. So if we go find all objects, we go to a Kanban board. A read, I should also use a read-only user. I'm gonna click on random. Oh, sorry, excuse me. Gonna add another one. gonna have another read-only user. And this is just plain old read-only. I'll put this in... I'll leave this in this mode. So, yeah. We're going to go down. We're going to go open up the documentation. They can't upload anything. Sweet. So if we go to all object... Actually, no, we want all... we want organizations. We've got the API. We've got the document upload. Boom. They can't. Sweet. Okay, cool. So... let's go into this. Now, it's stating we can add notes in here. So, grants notes on Kanban boards. Ooh. Alright, find objects, list all objects. Let's scroll down. Kanban board. Notes. No. Alright, so this is a bug. This is a bug we can fix. What we need to do is we need to pass down this information to the front end to be like, hey, listen, you know how we said this user can't add notes? Well, this just overrides that. So, let's go in here. Let's go new issue. Let's go permission set read only with Kanban board notes. Can't add note. Alright, cool. Method 1. Create a read-only user. Actually, prerequisite. There is a read-only user who has the ability to add Kanban board notes. Alright, method 1, log into NearBeach. 2, navigate to an open Kanban board. 3, double click on a Kanban card. 4, add a note against the card. Expected results. User has that ability. Actual results. User does not have the ability to add a note. Alright. This will be a bit of a normal one. This is a bug. This is a state submitted. This will be assigned to me. This will be a permissions. We'll fix this in the 31 branch. That's fine. Oh, I need to clean up the versions in here too. So, we know grants notes on Kanban boards doesn't work. Grants notes on organizations. So if we go find object, list organizations, open up an organization, we have a notes section over here, add a note. A read-only user can add in a note. Smiley face. Cool. There they are. Read-only extra. If we go with the read-only, no, they can't. So, we know this one does work. Sweet. So, the next sort of step is grant notes on projects, requirements, requirement items, and tasks. So, the other objects of NearBeach. So, we're just going to go from the top down. So, requests for change, no. Requirements. Notes. No. Alright. Requirement item. Notes. No. Okay. That's a bug. So, what I'm going to do is there a way to clone? clone issue as draft, edit draft. All right, cool. With requirement. Read only with requirement notes. Can't add note. Requirement, yep. All right, we've also got notes. The same applies to the requirement items. All right, cool. So we'll need to fix the requirement items. This is all the same. This is just a create. All right, sweet. So now that we've done that one, we're going to go find object, list all. We've done requirements. We're now looking at projects. We can add a note to a project. Adding a note to a project. Smiley face. Cool. And if we do this one and we go down to the notes, we've got the notes section. We can't. Easy time. Cool. You don't. This is for project. Let's do task. Scroll down. We've got the notes. We can add notes to task. Smiley face. Going to submit those in. Easy done. We're going to try and do that again over here. So we're going to go all the way down to tasks and notes, and we can't. Okay, cool. So, going with the permission sets, we've just done all of those. These are read only. So I can't edit any of these. So I can't edit any of these. All right, but what if I did full permission on that one? Now the good news is the permissions are looked up every single time. So if I click on this, I can now edit this. All right, so I'm gonna make this a orange, and it's gonna look horrible. Ugh. Blah. Now, another thing I wanted to test is, so if that happens, someone's like, oh, we've just changed that permission, let's change it back to read only. We hit save tag. Boom. Sorry, we could not process 403. Done. Perfect. All right, so 403 is essentially forbidden. So I was just testing to make sure that forbidden would be triggered in that certain case. And it did. And I'm happy with that. Okay. All right. We've got an incoming ad break. Now, another thing I got to do is I've just got to test all of these. One day I might move this to all front-end sort of stuff. Considering with the API, that gives us the ability to check user permissions and stuff like that. So we can go onto these pages, and then if we get a 403 from the back end, we can be like, nah, sorry guys, you get no permissions. So yeah, I just got to figure out a way of how to do that. We're at requirement, we're at tasks, we're at new request for change. Sweet. Oh, another thing I want to do is I want to have no permissions for the configure tags. I'm gonna hit that. Perfect. All right, but I can still see tags. So if I go to project and I go misc I can still see the tags. I won't be able to actually put the tags against this project because I don't have edit access. Yeah. All right, welcome back everyone again. Here's Socks and the Wombat. She's like, what? Where am I? So, yeah. Hopefully everyone's going well tonight. For those on YouTube, we run ads every half an hour on Twitch so people don't get pre-rolled ads. We do this so no one misses out on any content. Don't worry, you don't get any ads. We'll get to watch me do a Rubik's Cube. So, yeah. Okay. Easy done. There we go. So yeah. Hopefully everyone's going well tonight. We're getting some stuff done, which is nice. I am hoping most of these tests go well. We've just only found minor issues at the moment, which is nice to actually, or normal issues, I should say. It's nice. It's nice to just have normal issues. With the full site test, we're actually going to be testing out multiple different users. And welcome back, everyone. So, hence I'm doing the read-only with extras at the moment. This will be the first one. And then we'll move on to other different users and so forth like that. I am trying to break the system and yeah. All right, getting back into it. So yeah, the user won't be able to do any of that. If we go back to the permissions set, I am going to set that as read only and save that permission. Let's hit reload. That should also let us get back into here. Easy done. Now with the scheduler, this is your own planner. So what you could actually do is you could go, all right, I have a Kanban card, project, or there we go. Something's actually assigned to me. And I can key it into here. And the idea is it should appear on, oh, it's not. That. It's meant to be only the first day. All right, cool. That will appear here. Part of the planner sort of stuff where you're like, all right, cool, I want to tackle these tasks on this particular day and so forth like that. And the best thing is what you could do is you're like, all right, this task is going to take a couple of days. I am going to key it in for multiple. Like so. And that will work perfectly fine. Alright, there was something else I was looking at. Yeah, the scheduled objects. Now, might be... It is... these aren't really administration sort of things. You won't get an administrator to set these up. You can actually set these up yourself. The idea being is you only see the scheduled tasks for your group, or groups. So a lot of these will be perfectly fine. Oh, that's a big no-no. That should be borrowing from, yeah. All right, so this is more of a bigger issue. Read-only user has access to edit scheduled tasks as projects. All right, cool. Method 1, log in to NearBeach as a read-only user. 2, navigate the menu, scheduled objects. 3, click on any of the scheduled objects within the list. On the information page, edit the scheduler scheduled task / project and click on the save button at the bottom of the page. Expected results, user will not be able to edit anything on the page, and there is no save button. Actual results, user is able to edit and save the scheduled object. That is not good. This actually becomes a major sort of thing. Okay. Yes. So, a user, it should be matching this task. So for those users that do have permissions for adding in tasks and stuff like that, can use the scheduler to add in a task. However, if they don't have permission for it, they won't be able to do that. And the same with the project. So we'll need to get rid of that, the ability to edit those. All right, let's go to the profile. Let's update the user profile. Let's do this one. Yeah, password reset should just work. Cool. Manage two-factor authentication. That should just work too. Now, in the near future, what we'll actually do is we're going to change this around, because at the moment it uses a lot of the old Django sort of stuff. So yeah, let's that will come down here, and yeah, don't worry about that. I've got to think up of ways of actually being able to do that with the APIs and stuff like that. So going with this, all of that should be done. Logout should log out. Read only extra should do that. And then the reason why we reset the pages like this is because if the permissions change, they instantly react. What I could potentially do is I can knock that user out like that. And then they hit reload. And we've still got some, I guess the data still comes through because they're assigned those particular tasks and stuff like that. But yeah, it should be, it's not technically knocking the user out. All right, but they got no access to anything but the planners and stuff like that. So if we go into the scheduled objects, they should have no objects in there at the moment. All right, and then the search, they'll have no objects. And then when they log out, they'll go read only with extra, hit enter, user currently not set up with any groups. Please contact, yep, all right, sweet. And then this user will go read only, extra, search groups, QA team. Boom, like so, and then boom, like so. All right, cool. I am quite happy with that. All right, so okay. Oh, sorry, I'm just yawning. Oh, sorry about that. We've got an edit only. Let's try the edit only user now, and that should be team intern. So I'm going to actually go over here. I'm going to log out. We actually don't have a team intern into that. I'm going to put it on dark mode to save everyone. There we go. Done. Enable two-factor. Next, we want email. Next. Oh, I've got to do mail trap. Sorry, I've got to... Oh, not add time. Sorry, it'll be that secret screen stuff for the moment. Give me a couple of seconds. Alright, we're back. Alright, so NearBeach got a one-time password token. So we're just going to do that. We're going to paste that in. We're going to go next, back to account security. We're going to go log out. We're going to go team intern. We're going to hit enter. Now this will take a little while. There's also another bug in here, in the sense that we've got to sort of improve this. Where's my screenshot? Take screenshot. Get rid of that. UI, UX, one-time password, email tokens. Do not look. We will need to improve this email, as it does not look professional. Alright, that will be normal, that will be bug, that will be submitted, that will be me, that will be two-factor. Oh. Alright, UI UX. Easy done. So, going back into this, we've now got the token. We go over here, we've got the one-time token up here. So yeah, we'll need to fix this up. And then if we paste it in, we go next, everything's fine. I think we've got like a password reset sort of thing, so it'll be nice to actually do something like this. Now, I've noticed that these don't work anymore. Yeah, that's got to be cdn.nearbeach.org. Yeah, I've got to fix that up. Yeah, I've got to fix that up. But yeah, we'll do something similar to this, where it'll be your one-time password and stuff like that. Alright. That is going to be... Take a screenshot. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's go into here. Any issue we're sort of recording. I don't care how small it is. Email template. Image missing. Image missing. The password email template is missing the image. Alright, cool. This will be normal, this will be bug, this will be submitted, this is assigned to me, this is part of UI UX. So, yep. Oh, sorry. Alright, this person can only edit. Yeah, they'll be able to do all of this. That's fine. Alright, they'll be able to edit that, which is great. Team collaboration. Let's make that like that color and go boom. Alright, cool. Their planner, yeah, we know this one works. They don't have any assigned cards or tasks or anything like that. Alright, cool. I will need to extend the fixtures so that there's a lot more data in the fixtures and so forth like that, and users are assigned more, and yeah, that is something I need to work on. Alright, so we go back to the NearBeach user, we open up this, they'll be able to save this, they'll be able to add on groups onto here, they'll be able to, they can't remove groups, but they can add stuff on. Alright, and let's say they added everyone on by mistake, and they can't remove everyone. Alright. This is a mistake in the sense that if you've got edit permission, you should be able to do all of this. So, let's put it in as a bug. Let's take a screenshot. No, let's take a screenshot. Let's go copy. Edit only user can't remove groups / users from project / task. So method 1 log in into NearBeach with an edit only user team intern. Go to an open project / task, add a number of groups and users to the project / task, remove any users / groups from the project / task. Expected results, user is able to remove the user is able to remove the groups and users. Actual results, because they can edit the project / task. Actual results, a user cannot remove any groups or users. Oops. Alright, this is a normal priority, this is a type of bug, this is submitted, this is this. This will be part of the permissions. And we just create. Okay, easy done. So, jumping into here, requirement item. Yeah, they can do that. They'll be able to upload documentation and stuff like that, links. They'll be able to create a link to a project and be like, all right, cool, this is actually linked to this. So this requirement item, it now has a project assigned to it. So yeah. And I just realized how simple it would be to... Alright, cool. No, don't worry. I'm just muttering to myself at the moment. Alright. Okay. Yep, that gets assigned there pretty easily. I can't wait till I beautify up the sprints. Stuff like that. We can add in a note. Delete the note. Add in another note. Edit the note. And then be like, all right, cool, delete the note. All right. I'm just running out of steam. All right, cool. We'll probably call it there. Quick announcement. As we go into our announcement screen, which is also the secret screen and stuff like that. I won't be around for about 2 weeks. I'm going into surgery this Thursday for my shoulder. It's finally happening. So yeah, good luck to everyone. If you have any issues and stuff like that, hey, Project Black, how are you? Sorry, I just saw your message. If you have any sort of questions or anything like that, we are on Discord at the moment. I'm happy to sort of answer those sort of questions and stuff like that around NearBeach. Yeah. Anyway, let's go find someone to raid. I'm sorry, I'm running out of steam. I've been working heaps lately, getting everything sort of sorted and stuff like that. I do actually need to take some time off. So yeah, now, we're gonna go. Oh no, they're not doing gaming stuff. And that person, all right, they are doing some game programming by the looks of it. So we've just hit a pre-rolled ad. They don't do what we do. Give us a couple of seconds. But yeah, so I'm taking the next 2 weeks off. Idea is I need rest, really. I'll be in pain for most of the time. So yeah. And this was maybe thank you very much, Project Black. So yeah, I've needed it for a while. It's gonna happen. Yeah. Anyway, let's start the raid. Oh, I definitely don't want to do it there. All right, cool. So yeah, I'll be on Discord. If you find any issues and stuff like that, flag them on Discord. I'll try and get around to actually fixing them up as soon as possible. Once again, thanks for all the ideas tonight. If you guys have any more ideas and stuff like that, join our Discord and add them in. Anyway, I shall see you guys in about 2 weeks. Hopefully I'll be fully revived by then and not so tired and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, thank you very much, and yeah, see you guys in a couple of weeks. Oops, I'm meaning right now. There we go. Alright, anyway, sorry YouTube, you won't be able to follow us onto the raid, but thank you very much for being there. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in 2 weeks. So yeah, thank you.